Good evening, folks. So tonight we're going to now that I've had some time to simmer down a little bit, we're going to talk a little bit about a bird's eye view and Sue Bird and Megan Rapinoe's unfortunate decision to bring on the sports hack named Katie Nolan to spread some more anti-Caitlin Clark venom and anti-Caitlin Clark fan venom. Okay. Now, for those of you who don't know Katie Nolan, she's billed as I wrote this down because it's important to me that I get her titles correct. Okay. She's billed as I love this term, media personality. It's almost as meaningful as content creator. She's a media personality, a host, and a comedian, except I don't find her so funny. I actually find her kind of obnoxious. Um, she has won a sports Emmy for her show called, you're gonna love this one, Garbage Time with Katie Nolan. Well, she had some more garbage time the other night on Sue Bird's broadcast. And that was, by the way, that Garbage Time with Katie Nolan aired on, of all places, Fox Sports 1, another fine, upstanding network. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about um, Sue Bird and Megan Rapinoe allowing that kind of garbage to come on the show and make the statement that even insulting more than Caitlin Clark, insulting her fan base, okay? Calling us, what did she call us? Let me see. I want to get this right too. I don't want to be, I don't want to be inaccurate here. She accused us Caitlin Clark fans of, quote, disguised hate, end quote. Disguised hate of what? I would consider us openly loving of Caitlin Clark's basketball skills and Caitlin Clark's class, which is something that neither Katie Nolan, Sue Bird, or Megan Rapinoe showed any ounce of the other night when they chose to put her on. You know, what is it that you folks just can't get right here? Why is it that everything Caitlin Clark's fans do have to be based in some kind of conspiracy theory or some kind of evil doing? Is it not possible that we can just like who we like? You know, I never went through any of this shit. I never saw any of this shit when I was a rabid Larry Bird fan, and I wasn't the only one. He had a huge fan following. Nobody ever accused us of any of this. But then again, social media wasn't around and there wasn't so much garbage on the airwaves constantly. Okay? And it wasn't a festering cesspool of bullshit like it is now. Okay? We don't have any disguised hate here. We don't hate any other players in the WNBA. In fact, personally, I'm going to speak only for myself, okay? All right, I'm not going to even speak for my followers on this channel, but I have the utmost respect for the women who came before Caitlin Clark, and actually so does Caitlin Clark, and she has openly stated that. She has openly acknowledged all of the women who came before her that made her time possible. Okay? It is possible that we have respect for a woman who has revolutionized women's college basketball. And we are now having respect for a woman who has come into the WNBA. And I'm sorry, folks, but there is not a player who has come before her. And there is not a player in the WNBA right now who plays basketball like her. There is no more complete a basketball player in the WNBA right now than Caitlin Clark. Okay? Even missing most of the season in her second year, they could come up with a 25-minute video that showed some of the most amazing highlights I've ever seen in my life. Okay? And I don't understand what it is that people don't get when I laugh because people are wondering why Paige Beckers isn't as big as Caitlin Clark. And Sue Bird is one of those people. And I've told everybody this. What is it that Sue Bird doesn't get? Because Paige Beckers isn't Caitlin Clark. She's a great basketball player, okay? She was the number one pick out of college, deservedly. She was the winner of this year's Rookie of the Year, deservedly, in my opinion. And I have the utmost respect for her as a basketball player, just like I have the utmost respect for Sabrina Ionescu, Brianna Stewart, okay? And several other players, okay? Kelsey Mitchell, Sophie Cunningham, even before Sophie Cunningham was a member of the Indiana Fever, okay? I have respect for all of those women, but they're not Caitlin Clark. There is one Caitlin Clark, one, and only one, okay? One. And you know what? If everybody would just simmer down and understand this, maybe we could get further in life. She is shining a light on the rest of the entire league right now, okay? She is not the only reason the league is growing, absolutely not, but she has certainly supercharged that growth. And it cannot be denied. The statistics do not lie. So I'm trying to figure out who actually is the master of disguised hate. And I say it's the content creators like Katie Nolan and her enablers like Sue Bird and Megan Rapinoe that are the architects of disguised hate. Okay? That's what I think. That's my opinion. But hey, don't listen to me because I'm just a Caitlin Clark fan. But as far as I'm concerned, they can shut the fuck up because I'm tired of the goddamn day in and day out insult. Because they've always got to have an ulterior motive for the reason why we love Caitlin Clark. We love Caitlin Clark because she's a great basketball player. She's fun to watch. She's exciting. She is fast. She is a great shooter. And she is a great person. She's got media skill that these people could only dream of. And it's as simple and above board as all of that. So, you know what? In closing, let me show you why we're Caitlin Clark fans, okay? In a video, just a short one, all right? And then let me just tell you this, that all of us Caitlin Clark fans, we're excited and looking forward to 2026 when we believe that Caitlin Clark will come back healthy and in beast mode. And we will have a great time watching that. So I'm going to dedicate this to you. What's your name? Oh, yeah, Katie Nolan. This is for Katie Nolan. Hold on, it's a coming.
Opportunity to be the NCAA's all-time leading scorer in women's basketball. I'm talking about Caitlin Clark, 8 points away.
Caitlin Clark woke up with a ton of energy this morning. She says it's like the first day of school feeling where you're anxious, but also really excited. We could go on and on about what Caitlin Clark has done for the game of women's basketball, but tonight she is 8 points away from cementing herself in the history of the game.
We have a treat for you tonight. We have an alternate view available for tonight's game. We're calling it the Caitlin Cast. You can follow Caitlin Clark around the entire game. Wherever she goes on that court, our cameras will have an ISO shot. You can look for that option right here on Peacock. This game, talk of the town. Megan, we landed the airport. All anyone could mention was Caitlin Clark and the Hawkeyes. 22-3 on the season, 10-1 in this building. Number 4 in the country, taking on the Michigan Wolverines. You see her family there. One of her brothers is away from school for this.
I think this is a good excuse to miss school.
Absolutely, to see your sister do that. 6 points away from an NCAA record. We'll keep counting it. First possession for the Wolverines. This is a team 7-6 in conference play. Middle of the pack here in the Big Ten. Felia looking for some help. She elevates tie game.
That's what makes Layla Felia so dangerous. She can elevate and shoot over people without them being able to contest.
Anna Stolke posting up, but you know who they go to. 22 from the outside. Oh, this is going to happen quick. She is 3 away. Just a bucket. A layup if you're Caitlin Clark. 3 points away because she already has 2 buckets so far.
Well, this is where she's so good. Deceptively quick. She has every move in the bag where she can continually read the defense on the move. And then the 3 in rhythm, feet set, shoulder.
Recovered by Gabby Marshall. Here comes Clark. How will she go for history? There it is! The all-time leading scorer in women's college basketball. This crowd, wow, in only ways that Caitlin can.
Caitlin Clark now has 3,528 points in her career. She has officially broken Kelsey Plum's record from 2017. A post-game celebration will occur immediately following the game. Let's hear it one more time for number 22, Caitlin Clark.
And that's why we love Caitlin Clark. Right there. That's it in a nutshell. Okay. That's it in a nutshell. All right. And, I dare say that I'm a little leery about Sue Bird being in charge of Team USA this year. But let me just say that if they really were all that media savvy and intelligent, they would be putting Caitlin Clark out front and center in any promotion they'd be doing because, quite frankly, that's why people are watching this year. Because Caitlin Clark is on Team USA at this point, at least invited to the camps. And once again, somehow the brilliant basketball minds of women's sports have snatched defeat from the jaws of victory by putting 3 veterans on the poster and leaving Caitlin Clark off. They had room for one more player. They should have put her on the poster. But hey, be that as it may, at least FIBA was smart enough to put her out front and center. We can't say that they're lacking in skill, but we can say that some of Team USA's people are lacking in skill. By the way, that's it for tonight. We are rabid Caitlin Clark fans. We intend to stay that way, and we don't have to hide it or disguise it. We don't have any hate for anybody. We don't have to hate on other players to elevate Caitlin Clark. We leave that to some of the other players, like Asia Wilson, who thinks that it was to her benefit to make the snide and snarky comment that she feels like Caitlin Clark erased some of the history of the WNBA. Grow up, okay, and have a good life.